Helix and HX amps and effects processors are two different families. On one side, we have the Helix family. They are likely to be everything you need all in one box. On the other side, we have the more compact HX family. They are designed to be used with other pieces of gear, and although they have many powerful standalone features, they will most often be found on a pedal board, complementing a collection of other vintage or modern effects pedals. For this video, we will focus on the Helix family. With Helix, it's easy to achieve signal chains with multiple amps and complex effects routing. Their larger size also enables them to have a far more comprehensive selection of inputs and outputs. At the top of the Helix range sits the flagship Helix floor. It has over 120 amp and cab models and over 230 effects. When placed in the signal path, each one of these models sits in a block. It's possible to run up to 32 of these blocks at once on 4 stereo paths, all of which are clearly visible on the large colour LCD screen. At its most extreme, that could be a preset with 4 guitar or bass amps, all with effects, all taking a feed from a separate input and then sending the process signal to a separate output. Helix floor has 12 foot switches, 10 of which are colour-coded and capacitive touch, and a built-in expression pedal for powerful real-time control. Simply touching a foot switch with your hand can instantly show a block's parameters on the screen. They can then be edited with 6 physical knobs. These foot switches also have their own individual scribble strips so that you can name their effect or function. Along the back, Helix floor has a massive amount of connections, including 4 effects loops that can be repurposed as extra inputs and outputs. It also has a 48-volt microphone input that can be used for recording or for live vocals. By using a separate signal path, this mic input could be processed independently of your guitar tone. Using USB, Helix can become a comprehensive computer recording interface. It also has an amp switching jack for channel switching a traditional amplifier, and multiple analog and digital inputs and outputs. If you want all of these features but you want them at the back of the stage or in a studio rack, then maybe look at Helix Rack and Control. It's the same great features in a different format, but with the addition of word clock, dry guitar through, and an AES EBU input. If you don't need quite as many inputs or outputs, or feel that you could live without the scribble strips, you could look at Helix LT. It has the exact same sounds and internal effects routing capabilities as Helix floor, as well as the same processing power. Now, it still has more than enough inputs and outputs for most applications, but maybe importantly for some, it doesn't have the 48-volt microphone input and it only has 2 effects loops. The foot switches are also colour-coded and capacitive touch. For the player who doesn't want any hardware, there is always Helix Native. It's all of the amps and effects on 4 stereo paths, but running as a VST3, AAX or AU plugin. Now, there are lots of advantages to this for the pro or home studio. You could, for example, use multiple instances of it across all kinds of instruments. It also means you have the ability to tweak guitar tones after you've recorded them, as you are usually only recording the dry, unprocessed signal. HX Edit is the computer editor that ties all of these products together. Use it to tweak, save and share your presets, as well as install impulse responses. Now another great feature of the Helix family is that the presets can be compatible with other Helix and HX products, so dragging, dropping or copying blocks between devices is possible. You just have to make sure that the preset you're moving fits the guidelines of the destination product. And it's also HX Edit that you would use for updating Helix and HX products or adding presets and impulse responses that have maybe been purchased from Line 6 Marketplace.